Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. My name is CityZilla, and today we are in the city of Canalville. We are going to be working on this island today. I have a couple really awesome ideas, but first I need to thank my 4 Patreon supporters. I super appreciate it. It's kind of funny, I only had one for the longest time, and just this week I got 3 more, and so I want to say a quick thank you to Mark C., Fred Mendoza, Solprax, and Jared Russell. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. Every supporter really goes a long ways. I super appreciate it. And so I actually did receive an awesome little diagram plan for this map that I thought was just fantastic. We're not going to follow it to a T, but it was actually by Jared Russell, one of those Patreon supporters. And I thought it was just a really great idea. And so what we're going to be doing is I want to fulfill a couple things with this island. A lot of people have been suggesting us do a green space here. And so I think what we're going to do is a nature reserve / national park right here. And then we're going to do a zoo off the backside. And then we are going to do a small regional airport in the middle with canals kind of wrapping all the way around. And then a nice tourism kind of waterfront district. I want to do a wharf with some fishing since we really haven't been focusing too much on the fishing industry in this city. I believe yes, we have fishing industry over here, and it's kind of funny. I plopped in some industry on top of it to try to give it a more industrial look. I really liked them, but they keep going abandoned, so I've kind of just left them like that. It's kind of why I don't show this area too often. And it's kind of funny, we have like a weird glitch within the game where all these like cruises are just all culminating on this one little spot. It's kind of funny, they have like these little offshoot boats that are attached to them, and I think it's kind of funny. I'm not really sure what's going on with that specific spot, but I think it's another spot is over here as well. So maybe it's people who are on cruises, they're like, man, we just want to stop right here in front of the cargo harbor, like let's watch these boats come in, and then it just became such a thing that now it's just a stop. They're like, all right, let's go view Canalville's cargo harbor. And so I don't know, if I was on a cruise, I don't think I would be that into that, but I guess everybody's got their own things. And so I did do a few things off camera if anybody hasn't noticed yet. I completed this freeway connection and went ahead and put in a trumpet over here, just an easy one. The reason I did that was because we were really still having a ton of traffic right here, and so I did upgrade these as well, and this was kind of what led into me attaching up that freeway. I ended up doing a 3 and 1 asymmetric road leading here. It works out now. We're definitely doing much better. I did open up the time traffic light right here as well. But then there was just a bunch of traffic happening within our city. And so I went through and upgraded a lot of these. Like I upgraded this to a 2-lane, upgraded this to a 4-lane going all the way across. And then I was like, you know what, why don't we just connect this up? And as you can see, it's not heavily utilized, but it is utilized. Like a lot of people are choosing to get off right here and go into the city this way rather than coming down here and take this road in. And so it's kind of relieving some pressure from this interchange. And that's one of the things that you can kind of do within your city, and it's commonly overlooked. You get super excited, you start building, and then you start having traffic issues, and you're like, all right, well, what can I do? And a lot of times it just involves relieving the pressure. There's a certain amount of people who are going to still continue using this interchange because it is the closest. Maybe they're going over here, maybe they're coming up this freeway, or who knows. But people who are maybe coming right here are now going to get off here and choose to take this route instead, as it is a little bit sooner. And honestly, probably anybody coming from this direction maybe, unless they're going to the industrial area. But little things like that can go a long ways. A lot of times with traffic, it just has to do with your access. So if you can just increase accessibility, you go a long ways. I did do a couple other changes as well. I put in some offices around this area. I really wasn't sure what to do with it, so I just put in some office space, did some trees, kind of cleaned it up. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything with this area or not. But then I put our little resort over here. I was going to save this for an episode, but I decided to just throw it in there. It wasn't really a lot of work, and so I was like, you know what, I'll just throw it in and then I can show everybody. And so this is that same resort that we used in Crater Lake, the Hilltop Resort, which I thought looked really cool. I think it is a great fit for this area, and this is a part of the Modern Japan Content Creator Pack. I did also update some paths going around. We had gotten quite a few comments of people saying that there just wasn't enough accessibility, so put a path over here. I put that path right there. And then I believe I put another path somewhere. I put some paths, so I came through, I put a path right there, and I wanted to increase that walkability even more. And so now it's so funny, we just got so many bridges, but I love it. I think it looks fantastic. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about this is having all the bridges and just creates a really nice aesthetic to this. And so I'm excited to move on today. And so another thing I did, based off of people's comments, I went ahead and put in some parking in here too. I was trying to fit in some of the bigger ones, and I decided that we would just do 2 of the underground ones. And we can just assume that maybe this whole island right here has a ton of underground rights that were available. And so the stadium just purchased them and then decided to dig out a really large underground parking lot. And these 2 are probably connected to the same one. And so now we have that parking accessibility. And it was kind of funny. It was just something that I had overlooked. And so now we are going to move on to this area. We need to do a bridge. And so I decided to move our 2 plazas back here rather than in the middle. And I think it looks really good. I like this whole like concrete plaza area in the middle with these roads on the sides. I really like the aesthetic of it. And I think moving the plazas up here was a really great job. And so I think that looks really good. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right. So now what I'm going to do is use the rural gravel road to draw out some canals real quick. And then we'll kind of talk about it once I am done. Okay, and so this is the basic layout for our canals. There's still a lot that is not done yet, as we don't really know what we're going to do with this airport just yet. And so I think this looks good. I went for a more curvy kind of look, and it's kind of funny. There still are some sharp edges that we may come back through and redo once we actually start flooding it and getting our key walls in and everything. But I think it looks good. I wanted to do some smaller islands to create some more interest. Maybe we could do a park. But then I wanted to do these bigger ones since we are going to do a whole wharf area. So we're going to have some tourism and commerce and then some fishing and fish markets and stuff. And I'm thinking more like a San Francisco, like their Fisherman's Wharf and kind of areas where you're going to have restaurants, but then also active industry, like the fishing industry is still very much alive. And so now what I want to do is jump in here. And before we actually flood our canals, we are going to draw out our airport because we are going to have canal integration in here. And so I want to make sure that we are at a good level with this. So I think we're going to choose a height first. We're going to go like right here. And I'm not too worried about this right now because we can knock all that down real easy using the Move It mod. And so I think this is going to be a good height. I kind of want to pause just to make sure. Yeah, that right there is good. And so we are going to come in here and we're going to go to airports and we're going to draw this all the way around. I don't think it's going to be this large. Regional airports don't tend to be mega airports. This isn't going to be with the intention of handling large amounts of traffic. This is going to be more of a relief airport or a domestic or possibly even more expensive flights. And so anybody who wants to pay the extra buck to be a little bit closer to downtown, they can. And so because this is a regional airport, we're actually only going to do 1 terminal on here with 1 runway, but we are going to do a cargo terminal as well. So I think we are going to turn the terminals this way and we will, I want it to be kind of parallel, or not parallel, but going into the water here. So we're going to tuck it in like right here. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then let's go ahead and jump into Concourses and we're going to just go about 17 off of either side. Don't know if that was 17. Oh, of course, 18. No, I just, I like precision engineering, but man, I wish there was a way to flip how much it costs to the other side. I just, it bothers me so much. It like falls, like overlaps it. And so I think we do have a ways to go before we unlock the cargo airport. Yeah, level 3. I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to let this run and then we will see once we build it all out. So now we're going to build our runway. And I think we may even move our terminal back a little bit. I think we are. So we're going to jump in here, select it all and shift it back. Maybe about like right there, maybe even turn it a little bit. Nice. And so now let's jump in here and I want the runway to be nice and long. And I do want to jet out into the water a little bit. So we're going to come out like right here. And I was looking at some regional airports for inspiration. So I'm actually going to draw that in and then come back through and delete it because we're going to jump into our rural road. And actually, let's actually attach the taxiways too so we can see how wide this is. I want to be at least that far out. So then let's jump back in here, go to our rural roads and kind of measure this. We don't want the key wall to be right on the water. So maybe we'll go 20 units wide. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So if we come out, like we'll say like right there, let's actually connect it to this so we can get a nice 90. And there we go. So now we have our lovely runway area. We will go back in here, delete all that. Let's jump back into our runways. And ooh, we do need to paint this real quick. How did I forget that? That's super important. So we're going to come out here, go ahead and paint that all in. Perfecto. And so let's jump in here, and I want to go this way, and I want it to be big enough. We'll go like right there. I want to get taxiways on the other side too, so we are definitely going to have to make this a little bit bigger. But then I think we're going to have a canal come in, and we're going to cheat a little bit by placing down the taxiways and then have the canal go underneath it. All right, and so what we need to do now is go ahead and increase this just a little bit. I don't think we need to go really far because I do want the canal to continue on this side. I just want to make sure that we have enough space to fit another taxiway in. So I think if we go like right there, that's going to be good. But then what we will do is have this canal come all the way up here, and then I think we're going to turn it in. So if we come in this way and connect up like right there, I think that's going to be fantastic, because then we can come up here and connect this as well. Come up here and go across, go 10 up. Perfecto. Come down and then have this go all the way across. I think this is going to be fantastic. Yeah, there we go. So I got the canal in. I think it looks fantastic. We are definitely going to have to play around with that taxiway once we get it going, but I think it looks good. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and move this back just a smidge, and we are going to attach up our taxiways and then start dealing with some auxiliary things as well, like our fuel tanks and stuff like that. Though I'm not sure exactly what we've unlocked just yet. So we got our control tower, which we will put one of these, and let's go ahead and put it like right in the middle. Yeah, that's fantastic. We don't need a bunch of them. One is good. Again, this is just going to be a small airport, and so we will have small planes and probably just one big stand. I think we will move this back just a little bit more. I didn't realize how close we were to that. And go like right there. And then let's go ahead and attach these up. I think that looks pretty good. And then that way what it does is it allows us a little bit of room to draw on some more taxiways, because we definitely need to move this back just a little bit more. I'm not too worried about it. I think we were initially going to turn this canal in, but we'll kind of see as we build it out. I think this is going to be good. I do want to attach up these taxiways now, though. So if we come this way, this is where they land. That's where they take off, which I think is good. We can curve this one in. So we'll go like that, and then we will connect these up. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. I do wish that there was a way for us to actually attach more of these up. I like it. I think it looks fantastic. And we are going to reserve this whole side for cargo. And so now let's figure out what we're going to do. I need to lower down all this dirt path real quick. So what I'm going to do is jump in here to the marquee selection tool, literally grab everything, and then anything that's up here, I'm just going to hold shift, deselect, and then control H right here. Control H, bring it all down. Yeah, there we go. Nice. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just grab it all and control H right here. And there we go. Super easy. It does look like we missed a little bit right there. Control H. I think we should be good now. Yeah, we look pretty good. So now I'm going to jump in here and just level it all out real fast. And there we go. And so now what I want to do is go ahead and finish off this canal right here. So I think we are going to come up over here, and I think we're going to go like right there. And I think this is going to be super interesting because we're going to have the canal literally right next to this. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited to see how we go about getting this done. So we're going to come in here, and then we're going to have it turn, and let's go 10 out. Ooh, it looks like we're going to have to go a little bit further. So we'll go out like right here, and then we will go in, and then let's come up here and connect it up. Perfect. So this is another little island we have here, which I think is fantastic. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then let's go ahead and get rid of these as well to signify where our canal flows. And I do want to make this into a curve. So we're going to come in here, go to the freeform tool, grab this and turn it. Nice. I really like this. I think this is going to be great. And so now I do want to mess with this bridge. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have the bridge come across, and then it will turn and probably lead right into the airport. But we'll also have a branch off to lead off into these little islands right here. And I think it's going to be great. And then we will start working on our canals and stuff. So I do want to use a 6-lane road for this. So we're going to come up over here, and we're going to go to 6-lane, and we don't have any shipping corridors going through this area. So other than the ferries we do have coming through, but nothing else. And so I feel like this is going to be a pretty decent area for us to get something going. So I think we're going to come like right here, and then we're going to turn it. Yeah, I think that's going to be great. And then we will turn it again, have it line up. Maybe we'll even jump in here, go to bus roads, go to 3-lane one-way bus, because I want to get that little road in there. We're going to come up over here, let's kind of line this up because I want it to be kind of in the middle. I'm using the wrong mod there. I think right there is probably good because I do want branch off roads there too. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is jump into a bridge that I got off the Steam Workshop. I think I have a couple that we could choose from. Let's jump in to find it. Go to bridge, and I think it was this one. Yeah, it was. No. This bridge is good. I think this bridge is a little bit too big for what we're trying to do here. Maybe we'll come back to that one. It's very similar to that bridge. Yeah, it's this one. Nice. Look at this one. These are just great. I really like this one. So what we're going to do is have it span this segment right here. Basically what you do, this one looks like it needs to be placed by a road. So I'm going to plop it there, grab the move it mod, and then move it over here and just kind of line it up. It's super easy. It'll literally just take me a couple minutes and then you guys get to see the fantastic results. And there we go. I think this bridge looks great. I think it's a really good fit for this area, and it's kind of funny. This bridge that I put in over here is like really small in comparison. I think we may end up upgrading this to a different bridge because now this bridge is just like humongous, but I think it looks good. I really like it. I think this is a little steep, but I've definitely seen them on bridges where you have pretty steep inclines. I did end up making a little bit taller than necessary just in case we did have some sort of shipping routes open up through here, but for right now I believe there's not. Yeah, our shipping route comes out over here and around the mountain right now, but I thought it looked really good, and so now what I want to do is go ahead and start doing our canals, and then we need to start drawing in our roads and stuff. We are having a little bit of flooding over here just because of the island we drew for the airport, and so it's just going to take a little bit of time. And so now what I'm going to do is jump into our key walls, and we're going to use those same fantastic ones we've been using. They are the stone key fenced. I think we're going to go decorated, yeah. And so now what we will do is jump in here, and we're going to go to parallel mode and basically click all these nodes and go all the way around. And so okay, and so I use the parallel tool all the way around, and so now what we need to do is come through here, and I'm just going to attach these up, delete the roads, and then start to clean them up a little bit because I have to jump in and move it, and then move these out just a smidge, and then connect these up, and then it will be complete. And here we go. I think this looks fantastic, and anybody who's done this technique for canals knows how finicky these key walls can be. You have to go through the network multi-tool to this invert segment mode, basically go through and flip any of the ones that are facing the wrong way, but then you have to also go into the level terrain tool and go into each canal and kind of clean them up. There's still a little bit that we need to clean up as well. We'll kind of clean them up as we go. I think this looks fantastic though. I do want to move on, and so now what we're going to do is jump in here, and I want to jump into a road. I want to make sure to get even zoning off of this. So what we're going to do is grab this 4-lane road. Honestly, I think what we'll do over here is we will use trams. We don't have any trams in the city, and because this is going to be a tourist-centric area, I feel like trams would just be a really nice touch over here. I do want to still be mindful of ferries, as Joe Ferry is still actively involved in a lot of these developments. And so we want to go up about 30, I believe it's 39. Then we are going to go straight, and you know what? I think that looks pretty good. We are going to then lower this down just a smidge. I don't think we need, oh, you know what? We'll leave it like that. But I do want to come over here and basically turn this into this road. So then we will go use the picker mod, grab this 6-lane road, and then curve it into this main road. Let's go to unmodded. Let's go, I think we're about like right there. Let's go straight and connect that up. That is fantastic. And honestly, I don't know if we need trams, though we could have the trams come up over here too. Could have tram access just for this island. No, we'll upgrade this 6-lane road all the way down here, and then we will have the trams begin at the bottom of this. I think that's going to look good. And then now what we need to do is hook up our lovely airport roads. So we're going to come up over here to our bus lane roads. And I do want this to be the 4-lane 2-unit bus lane. So then we're going to come up over here and basically just connect this up. So I'd like this to be, yeah, I think that's probably pretty good right there. We do need to jump in and move it though and kind of finagle this around. You guys can kind of see this is just not matching up. So we're going to come up right here and we're going to move this just a smidge. It looks like we may have a node that's just a little too close, so I'm going to jump in here and we will remove that node. And having those nodes just a little bit separate helps to create a little bit more of a realistic curve. So I want this to be like right about there. And then we will move this back, line that up, line this up as well. Yeah, you know what? That actually doesn't look bad. It's definitely not as sweeping as I was hoping, but it's because we still do have a left and a right turn off of this. And so this right turn would be pretty sharp, and so it's a little bit better if it's not completely this direction. And so I think this is actually going to work out pretty good for our purpose. Now I do want to line this up a little bit better. I think that looks pretty good. I do want to maybe shift this over. Anybody who's used the Move It mod, maybe you'll notice that little circle in the middle. Whenever you're dealing with the segment, you can actually adjust where the curve is on the segment by that little circle. So if you come in here, you can kind of line it up, and it gives you just a little more freedom with curves. And so I think that looks good. I really like it. And so now let's go ahead and hook up that top road, and we do need to go into a 3-lane one-way. And I want to hook it up in a direction where it's going to kind of make sense. Anybody who knows me with my airport builds, you know that I prefer precision. I definitely do. It bothers me if it's not as good as possible, which kind of, I mean, it definitely makes for better builds, but it makes for longer builds too. That's definitely for sure. And so now we will come in here, and I want to clean this up even more. I don't want this to be too far apart. And then what we're going to do is jump into the network multi-tool, go in here and remove these crosswalks. And then let's go ahead and jump in there again and increase this offset. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to fix this real quick, make it a little bit straighter. All right, and so I think this looks really good. It's after finagling, I was able to get this segment to basically go straight, and then this segment just kind of tucks under. And you know what? I think it is perfect for what we're doing here. And it helps to capture that symmetry in here. And I'm glad that we got this nice turn coming into, though I do kind of wish it was a little straighter. I feel like this scenario right here kind of warrants this curve. And so now what we are going to do is go ahead and draw this around, and we need to do a loop around. Anybody who is familiar with airports knows that every now and then as you're picking somebody up, you tend to do circles. And it's kind of funny, I just did this yesterday. At Phoenix's Sky Harbor Airport. I was trying to pick somebody up. It was late at night, so it was dark, and so I drove by. She was on the phone. She's like, "All right, I'm over here," and it was a nightmare. It took me a while. I did probably like 4 loop arounds. I probably would have saved a lot of time had I just pulled over on the side of the road and tried to coordinate first. But of course, I was like, "I got this. I'll figure this out." And so it definitely took a lot longer than I was thinking. But so now what we will do. These are one-way roads, and so we need to be mindful of that. We will have to come up over here, do a loop around, and create a separate access point over here so that people can do the full loop. All right, and so what we're going to do is jump in here. We're going to go to a 4-unit road. We're going to be on ground level, and we are going to draw this all the way out. And the reason we're doing this is because it's going to provide that much needed access for this area. So then let's jump in here. We are going to go straight, and we are going to begin to curve it around, and we want it to land right here, but we need both of them to land right there. So we're going to come up over here. I think we are going to curve this to the right, go like that. And then let's go ahead and jump into our loop mode within the network multi-tool, grab these two. And I think I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. You know what? I think that's going to be perfect. So then we will come up over here, and then I think we will do the same thing down here. We'll grab this, and then we will follow this along. So if we go like right there, so let's go ahead and hit enter, and let's see if we have enough clearance. We don't. We definitely don't. I feel like that's, a little too low, especially for airports. I feel like the standard would be a little bit better than that. So we're going to go ahead and raise that up. And then we are going to grab slope mode. We're going to go like this, and we are going to come up over here and hit enter. And you know what? I think that is going to satisfy our need. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. It is a little bit steeper, but it allows enough room for people to loop around, which is really what we need. And so now what we are going to do is go ahead and upgrade this back to a 4-lane one-way. I initially wanted it 2-way so that we could do something on that other side, but I think for right now, we're going to go ahead and leave it 1-way. We just want to provide access to this area, and then we can also provide some offshoot access over here. So now what we need to do is go ahead and fix this real quick. So we're going to grab this. I feel like it's just a little bit too close. So if we increase this to a bridge segment, yeah, you know what? That's much better. Go ahead and turn it back to the correct one. So we'll come back here. Yeah, there you go. That looks much better. And so now what we need to do is loop it around the same way, but have it connect up here, which is not going to be easy, but we're going to get it done. So now we will come up over here, and let's grab this. We're going to have it go this way. And then we are going to connect up a segment. We don't want it to be right there. We will come like right here. And then let's go ahead and jump into loop mode. Grab this, grab that. I think that actually works out pretty good. And we separated these two segments a little bit. I don't plan on a lot of people using this loop around, but you still want to be careful. You don't want to just get crazy with it. So we're going to go like that. slope mode, make sure that we have enough access. I think we're going to lower this down just a smidge, even though I feel like that is a decent amount of access. In real life, that would be pretty close. And so we'll go like this, and then let's go ahead, do the same thing over here. Let's move this pillar. I feel like that would kind of block the whole purpose for us. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good. I don't necessarily like this 3-lane junction right here, but I feel like it's the best that we're going to have right now. We do need to turn this around, and then I think I'm just going to mess around with this real quick and kind of fix it up. I feel like this doesn't look that great. So I think what we're going to do after kind of looking at this, I think we will actually turn this in. So let's grab this 4-unit road, and we're going to go off of this, and we're going to turn it in like right there. I feel like that's going to be much better for this area, just because people do need to turn the other direction. I do want to jump in a node controller though and increase this just a smidge. Yeah, we'll go like right there, and then we are going to remove lane crossings on all of these. That actually doesn't look bad right there. That looks pretty good. Actually, you know what? I think we definitely did something good here, and I'm glad that we changed that as well. Okay, and so now what I want to do is go ahead and do some parking lots in here. I think we're going to fill in this side with parking lots, and then I think we're going to do a small parking lot over here as well, but I do want to provide some metro access over here too. And one of the cool things with these airport terminals is you actually unlock the metro terminal. Not sure if we've unlocked it yet, so elevated airport metro stop. Looks like we need to reach level 2, so that should actually be pretty soon. I think you reach the levels pretty fast. I am going to go ahead and put in some water pipes over here real fast. All right, so water pipes in. Let's go ahead and check and see. Oh, so yeah, we should have trash access here soon too. Let's see how far we are. So we actually need to bump up our attractiveness a little bit. Let's see what we can do to bump up that attractiveness. I know if we do airplane stands, that works. We could also do a budget hotel, though with regional airports, I don't really know if you tend to have a lot of those. But we do need to do some hangars too. I think we're going to end up doing hangars and all that on the other side. I think for this side, though, we could do a couple parked planes. I think that would be good. And then I do want to do a parking lot over here too. So I think we're going to go like this, and then let's go ahead and hook up the taxiway for the other side just so we can kind of see what we're looking at. All right, and there we go. So I ended up using a surface network to get this asphalt in, but then I put in a tunnel so that the water can flow through. It's not actually flowing through, but it makes it look good. I'm not entirely certain about these surface networks, but I think it looks okay. I ended up having to do a pavement network on top too, just because the actual road didn't want to go across, and then I just used intersection marking tool to complete the markings. And so now this is going to create a little space for us to do our industrial area over here. I think it looks really good. One of the things I did just recently learn, if you have this little space over here, you can use the network multi-tool, go like this, and come in here and just go to node list, and it makes it so that the two key types can still stick together. And so if we come up here, select that, go in here, go to node list. Nice. It's not the perfect connection, but it does still look pretty good. And so let's go back here, and I do want to go ahead. I was hoping to have a little bit more space for parked planes over there. That's why I'd wanted to do all that, but it looks like maybe we'll just fill this area up over here with the parked planes, and then we can always come back and do some more stuff. So I think we will do some hangars over here as well. Let's go airport area required. Let's make sure that we're still painted over here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's go in here now, and let's do 2 hangars. I feel like this is still a little too close, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I do want to provide this a little bit of access though, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into rural roads. Just do a country road back here so that the hangar workers can get back here, any mechanics and stuff like that. And there we go. I think that looks pretty good. I do want to now throw in a couple little parking lots. So we're going to come in here, go to 2 unit, come across here, and I'm going to draw this following the key wall, and then I'm going to go to the freeform tool and have this curve around. And then I think we're going to do, I mean, we don't need to do a huge parking lot, but even though it is a regional airport, it would still need some parking. And then I want to do an employee parking lot over here too. I feel like that's going to be pretty good for us. So we'll go ahead and upgrade this. I feel like we can upgrade this whole segment. It's the back side of the hangars, and so we'll just put up a fence right there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in those parking lots real quick. And there we go. Parking lots in. Nothing too crazy, but just enough to provide a little bit of access. It does look like we're having a little bit of a tearing issue over here. Go ahead and raise that up, and I think it looks really good. Now all we have left to do is some decorating, and then I really want to get that metro line in here. And then I want to start working on this other area a little bit. We're not going to be working on a ton of it today. I think on Friday we will probably work on the bulk of it, since we spent a little bit more time than I was really planning on this airport today, but I think it came out good. I'm glad that we spent the time with it. I do want to put in a tourism area over here. So we are going to unpause it, and I'm just waiting for this to upgrade. We reached the requirement, so we got 280 out of 200 for the attractiveness. We just need to get 500 passengers, and so I'm hoping that comes soon. I think having the tram access over here, and it kind of looks like we got away from our tram road, it's really going to help people to get over here and to provide that much needed accessibility for this area, which I think is going to be fantastic. I'm actually really excited about this area. It's nice to be working on a new island. We've been on that other island for quite a while now. I mean, it's been probably a couple months. Yeah. I do want this to go across as well, so we're going to come up this way. We're going to have to be mindful of our ferry channels, and so I think for this little area right here, we're going to forego the ferry line access just for this little segment, this inner canal right here, and it's just because it's going to be kind of difficult for us to get it with this road. There's really just not a lot of space, and so I think going like this is just going to be better. We can still get a ferry back there because we provided enough relief right there, and it would be nice to get some sort of ferry access. I just don't know if the airport would necessarily need it, since we're going to be hooking up the metro, and Joe Ferry's been investing in metro, and so I do want to turn this somewhere. So I think we could turn this way. So we're going to do, I think, a zoo right there, and then we're going to do the nature reserve, and then we're going to do a small industrial park with some trash service back here. So maybe we'll turn it that direction, and then we can actually add in some of our trash service, which would actually be really good. I'm going to go ahead and level this out real quick. All right, so I'm going to come up this way. We're going to go straight, and I think we'll go like right there. I feel like that's probably good. And then you know what, we'll just do a roundabout for now, and then we can always come back once we start expanding out on the parks and figure out what we're going to do with that area. But I think for right now, this is probably good. And then I think we're going to do our Tram Depot back here. So we need to do 3-lane one-way with tram access, go like that. And then let's go ahead and pop in here and go to our trams. And anybody who's been watching my series knows that I just love trams, and so I'm happy to get trams in this city. Initially, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do trams here. I'm not going to do it, but you know, you can't pass up on a good opportunity to get some trams, and especially since this is going to be a tourist area, I think this is going to be a nice area for it. So let's go ahead and grab that road, and then we are going to turn it this way. We're going to come up like right here, and then let's connect this up. Yeah, nice. Perfect. Okay, and so now that we got that hooked up, what I would like to do, we need to do a little bit of a turnaround for our trams, because right now they are pretty much stuck. So I think what we will do, I think we can fit a little road back here. Yeah, we can. So let's go ahead and jump in here. We're going to go to 1 unit. I actually think we have a 1 unit tram road. Yeah, we do. So if we come in here, I think 2-lane, that's 2-way, but I think we can still fit a 2-way road back there. So if we come up over here, let's follow that key wall. We're going to come up this way. We're going to come down, and then we will come straight into this. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then we will come this way, and let's go ahead and connect this one up as well. Yeah, you know what? We lose some zoning from it, but it provides a much needed turnaround for the tram road, and it does actually provide a little more zoning back here. I think that looks pretty good. I do want to hook up some tram lines real quick. And there we go, tram lines attached. And I think we will try to figure out a tram depot in here too. I feel like that would probably be good. Though, I mean, if you're landing at this airport, you're probably not too worried about hopping on the tram right here, because you would be able to just drive in here pretty easily. Especially we're going to do some walking paths too. And so now what I want to do is jump in here, and we are going to go ahead and paint this middle section as its own district. We're going to go ahead and do tourism specialization for it, because I really want to get some layers in here. So we're going to just do this middle section as tourism specialization. And then let's go ahead while we're in here and paint the airport as its own. And if anybody has any fun names for this island, go ahead and let me know. We already have a Joe Ferry in town, but we could say that, you know, maybe there's a competing rival like John Rand or something like that. Joe Ferry's actually kind of upset because they didn't do ferry access, but, you know, he invested in the metro as a way to kind of get back at Joe Rand or Fred Rand or whatever his name was. And so it's something fun like that. You know, I mean, I just came up with that at the top of my head. So that was the best I did. Now I want to come in here, and we are going to paint all this as high density commercial. And this is going to be like a boulevard for our area. This is really going to be like an exciting area to kind of come into. Like, you just got off the airplane, you're kind of driving around, you know, like when you fly into Vegas, you see all the strip next to it. That's kind of how this would be. You'd be flying in here and you'd see this whole row of just leisure buildings, and I think it would be great. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest with water pipes real quick. All right, so now what I'm going to do is let the game run. I'm hoping that these commercial buildings will grow out. We do have a pretty high demand for residential at the moment, though. I just don't really want to start working on these next areas just yet. I think we're definitely going to do it on the next episode, but I'm hoping that this passenger count bounces up so that we can reach level 2 and get that metro access in. And so I will see you in a second. I'm hoping this all sprouts out. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do some landscaping now. I want to put in some trees, and then I think I'm going to add in some paths connecting these as well. But it looks like we already have quite a bit of traffic coming through here. I think we're going to do a light industrial area back here. I want to do a garbage processing complex, a waste transfer facility, and then some light industrial to provide goods for this area so that they wouldn't have to drive all the way over here and through our whole city, which would just be terrible. But I think it's going to look really good. I will be right back. Okay, and so I am finally done, and I think it looks fantastic. So I went ahead and put in trees all the way around, and as I was doing the trees, our lovely airport finally hit our next unlock, but now we're just getting so many planes in, it is just nuts. And so I attached the metro station, I extended the terminal a little bit, and then I decided to only hook up the metro line going this direction since these two stations are pretty close, and I felt like it was just redundant to have it go that way. And so I had it loop around to our big towers and go over to our little hub over here. I still do want to hook up some ferry lines, but I think we'll end up doing that in the next episode. We were having some traffic issues as well. I went ahead and optimized some of these roads. I upgraded this to a 6-lane all the way through, and it seems to be helping out. I did go ahead and put in a road right here too. I just wanted to provide an alternative route for anybody who's trying to stay on these islands. I went ahead and did a little fountain in here since this seems to be like my signature at this point. I decided to just do a regular quay wall since I didn't really want to have people walking around on it. But then I did trees all the way around, some rocks. I filled a fence all the way up around the airport for safety reasons. Did trees over here. I really like the dense tree look, especially since there's so much water. I would assume that there would just be a lot of trees. I think it looks great. We did have this set as the leisure district, and so I did switch it back. And so now we're starting to get a lot of these tall buildings, even though it looks like every single one of these is like the same building. It's like one company was like, ooh, let's go ahead and invest. And they purchased half the lots, and they're like, let's just build the same hotel on all of them. And the board of directors was like, that's a great idea. And here we are with all this, same company going all the way down. The Happy Seal Hotel. I feel like they got some sort of monopoly here now. I did also put in some services too. It's kind of funny. We built all this out, and I always forget about services. So I put in medical, trash on the opposite side. I put in a crematorium. I did a fire department and then a police department, as obviously it being a tourism area, you would definitely need a police department. And so I think this looks really good. I definitely like the bridge too. I think this just looks fantastic. I do think as we expand out these islands, we're going to have to figure out some more access. I was kind of looking at this area right here. If we could get a junction on this corner, I think it would be really good. I just don't like, we have an interchange right there, and we have a interchange right here. And so I think if we were to put one right here, it might be too close, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Maybe we'll just do a regular road. I think it looks fantastic. I'm excited about it. I think on Friday we are going to work on these islands. I want to do some residential. We definitely need to have some residential over here, and these islands would be primo land. And so I would imagine some developers would want to get in on that. We're going to put in the cargo hub, and then we're going to do a wharf on these sides as well. I want to do some fishing industry, and I'm super excited about it. We don't have a lot of fishing here. And so let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And if you like this episode, you will definitely enjoy the episode on your screen, and I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you so much for watching.